So today we're going to finish up section 5. We're going to be solving equations with complex numbers. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be solving using the even root, which is also called the square root method, or we're going to be completing the square and then the quadratic formula. So what's going to end up happening is we potentially could get a negative square root, which is going to result in us getting an I in our answer. So these are the same 3 techniques from section 1.4, which was what was on your test. So I'm just going to review it. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to do some even root or square root method. I'll do some of them with completing the square and then some of them with the quadratic formula. If it does not specify in the homework, you can choose, because technically quadratic formula will solve any quadratic equation. So let's go ahead and do a couple of examples. First one, notice this one is set up nice and pretty to do the square root method or the even root method. So what I'm going to do here is square root both sides of my equation. Because remember, your first step is always to isolate the squared term. And this was already set up where it was isolated. So remember, whenever you square root a square, this just comes out. And then now I need to simplify the square root of 20, if you want to do this first. And then now break down the 20. You could either do 2 and 10 or 4 and 5. I'm going to go to 4 and 5 because I know 4 is a perfect square. So then this will simplify into 2i square root 5. And then now what I need to do, and this is plus minus, don't forget about that whenever you solve using the square root method. And then now I just need to move the 2 to the other side. So final answer here is x equals 2 plus or minus 2i square root 5. And just read the instructions on WebAssign. If it asks you to pull them apart, then enter one as a subtraction and one as an addition. Next one, I'm going to do exactly the same thing because it's set up nice and pretty to use that square root method. So I'm going to square root both sides because my square term is already isolated. Once I square root the 3x minus 1, it comes out. Again, you can go ahead and pull the I out first and then break down the 48. So I'm going to go ahead and do a factor tree for the 48. You can do any factors, 2 and 24, 3 and 16. That's the one I'm going to choose because that's the largest perfect square. That is a factor of it. So then I get 3x minus 1 equals plus or minus 4i square root 3. And then I'm going to add 1 and then divide by 3. 3x equals 1 plus or minus 4i square root 3. Divide both sides by 3. Final answer, 1 plus or minus 4i square root 3 over 3. Notice really it's the same thing that we did. The only difference now is we have i's in our answer. Now you could also pull it apart if you wanted to enter it as 1/3 plus or minus 4i root 3 over 3. It really doesn't matter. Read what WebAssign wants. If they want you to enter it as 2 separate answers, then that's what you will do. For the next one, I'm going to go ahead and on these 2, I'm going to complete the square. They cannot be factored because we're going to end up with a negative square root. So if these could be factored, factoring for me is faster than completing the square or quadratic formula. But neither of these can be factored, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate completing the square with these, but you could also use quadratic formula. So remember, for completing the square, we need to move the constant to the other side. We're going to make a nice little blank space for it. So here's my blank space, minus 5. Remember, the next step is to take the b term, and my b term is 1. Divide it by 2 and square it. So what I'm adding to the other side is 1/4. And over here, remember, I'm going to put this in as a 1/2 squared. So that way, when I go to factor that trinomial, I don't need to think about what are the factors that are going to give me the 1. So instead, it goes right in to my factors. So x plus 1/2 squared. I need to do the math here, so I can go ahead. For here, I need to find a common denominator. I can change the -5 into -20/4 plus 1/4, and then I get -19/4. So that is going to be subtracting -5 plus 1/4. I get -19/4. Now I can use my square root or my even root method, square root both sides. The x plus 1/2 comes out of the square and the radical. I can square root the -19 separately and then the 4 separately. So the square root of -19 becomes I radical 19. The square root of 4 becomes a 2. And then now I just need to isolate x by subtracting 1/2. And I get x equals, and this is plus minus, -1/2 plus or minus I square root 19/2. Now, if you want to leave it like that, that's perfectly acceptable. Or you can also combine it since it already has the same denominator, plus or minus I root 19 with a 2. This next one, again, it's optional for number 4. If you'd rather do quadratic formula, you can, or completing the square, it really doesn't matter. But we have to use one of those 2 techniques because of the radical. So let's go ahead and let me just rewrite it down here. So first step, remember, get the constant to the other side. X squared plus 3x, leave the blank space, equals -10. Take the b term, divide it by 2, and square it. So 3 divided by 2 squared gives me 9/4. So this is what I'm adding to this side, but in here, remember, I'm putting the 3/2. So I don't have to think about factoring. So this factors into x plus 3/2 squared. I need to find a common denominator here. So this is going to actually turn into -40/4 plus 9/4. And this gives me -31/4. I'm now going to apply the square root method or the even root method. Square root both sides. And again, if it's easier for you to think that you're square rooting this fraction individually, you can. X plus 3/2. The square root of -31 becomes I square root 31. Square root of 4 becomes 2. So again, remember the plus minus. Move the 3/2 to the other side. And I get x is equal to -3/2 plus or minus I square root 31/2. If the 31 could have been simplified, I would, but it can't. It's prime, so I leave it just like that. And you can combine it with a single denominator if you wish. Again, WebAssign may ask you to pull it apart. So you may be doing -3 minus I root 31/2, comma, -3 plus I root 31/2. So just read how WebAssign wants you to enter them. This problem, if this would have been -10 at the beginning, so if it would have been x squared plus 3x minus 10, then I could have factored it, and that would have been the faster technique. But because it's a positive 10, it can't be factored, and I either need to use completing the square or quadratic formula. Number 5, notice this is the sum of 2 squares, so I can't factor it, but I can use my even root method. So I'm going to isolate the square term by subtracting 25, and I get x squared equals -25. I'm going to apply that even root or square root method, and this comes out, and I get x is equal to plus and minus 5i. And I'm done. Number 6. First glance, you might think, oh, that might be a perfect square trinomial, but there are no factors of 9 that'll give you 2. So this one I'm going to do quadratic formula just to mix it up. You could also do completing the square. So notice my A term is 1, my B term is 2, my C term is 9. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in to negative B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC, all divided by 2 times A. You will need to memorize this formula again. So put it in, negative 2 plus or minus 2 squared minus 4AC divided by 2 times A. Go ahead and simplify what's under the radical. I get positive 4 minus 36, all divided by 2. I need to subtract what's under the radical, and I get negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 32 divided by 2. Now, do not be tempted to simplify those 2's right now. Simplify the radical first. So I'm going to break down the 32. You can either choose to go ahead and do it as 16 times 2, 4 times 8. It doesn't matter. I can do 16 times 2. So this becomes 4i radical 2. So once it's simplified, I get negative 2 plus or minus 4i square root 2 divided by 2. Now I simplify the fraction. Divide everything here by a 2, and then now you're left with 1, 2, and 1. Do not make that 1 disappear that's in the numerator. The denominator's gone. So my final answer here is x is equal to negative 1 plus or minus 2i square root 2. The negative 1 does not disappear. Number 7, I'm going to go ahead and use my even root method again, and I am going to isolate the square term first. So I'm going to subtract the 9, because I can't factor that. There is no such thing as the sum of 2 perfect squares. Now, the big mistake I was seeing, everybody thought they could just square root it at this point, but you can't do that. You have to get the x squared all by itself. So go ahead and divide first. Now square root both sides. And then you end up with x is equal to plus or minus. And again, you can square root the negative 9 separately and the 25 separately. So square root this, I get I square root 3. Sorry, no. It's not under the radical. It becomes a 3i. And then this becomes a 5. So the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of negative 1 is I. And then the square root of 25 is 5. So the final answer here is plus or minus 3/5 I. Now you could also write the 3/5 and the I behind it, or leave the I in the numerator. Do not just put it in the denominator. Next one. Again, I'm going to use the even root method. I need to isolate the the x minus 1 squared. Do not try to distribute that 3. So I'm going to isolate the x minus 1 squared. Now I can apply that square root method. Square root both sides. The x minus 1 comes out of the square and the radical. Again, you can square root the negative 16 and the 3 separately. So the numerator becomes plus or minus 4i, but the poor 3 is still under the radical. So I'm going to rationalize. So I am going to multiply the top and the bottom by the square root of 3. So then this final answer becomes plus or minus 4i square root 3. And then the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is just 3. So now, that is just rationalizing that. Remember, you still have this x minus 1 over here. So you could have moved it first, but I think it's better to rationalize first. So now, this is what I've got. And now I just need to move the 1 over by adding it. So then the final answer is 1 plus or minus 4i radical 3 over 3. Notice the 1 does not have the denominator of 3. So then now what I need to do is, if you want to leave it like that, it's perfectly fine. If you want to get the 1 to have a common denominator of 3, then what you would have done is add a 1 here and then times top and bottom by 3. And you could also turn it into 3 plus or minus 4i radical 3 over 3. So let's say the problem was x cubed minus 64. And it says to solve. Now remember, we're using our SOAP pattern here. Remember, after we factor this, remember that trinomial that we couldn't factor? But now we can solve it because we know quadratic formula and completing the square. So this is going to be very important that you're paying attention to right now, even though it's not in the notes. So I'm going to factor this using my SOAP pattern. I'm going to cube root x cubed. I'm going to cube root 64. And then the pattern, remember this is same sign. Next one is opposite, and then over here is going to be always positive. So you square the x. You multiply the x and the 4 with an opposite sign. And then you square the 4, always positive. Now remember, this trinomial in the past, we couldn't do anything with it. But now we can. Because we're going to go ahead and use either the quadratic formula or completing the square. Because the instructions here are solve. So I'm going to go ahead. I have a real solution that I'm going to get from the x minus 4. So my real solution to this is x equals 4. But I also have 2 imaginary solutions that I'm going to get from the trinomial. I'm going to do quadratic formula. You could also do completing the square. So my a term is 1, my b term is 4, and my c term is 16. So x is equal to negative 4 plus or minus 4 squared minus 4 times a times c. This is all under the square root, divided by 2 times a. I'm going to go ahead and square the 4. I'm going to multiply negative 4 times 1 times 16. I get negative 64. I'm going to subtract what's under the radical. I get negative 48. Again, do not be tempted to simplify the 4 and the 2 yet. Break down the radical first. Okay, so I'm going to break down the negative 48. So you can first pull it out like this, then factor the 48, 16 and 3 again. So this becomes 4i radical 3. So negative 4 plus or minus 4i radical 3 divided by 2. Now we can simplify the fraction. So I can simplify. These all can be divided by 2. So this becomes a negative 2, positive 2, and a 1. So final answer here, x equals negative 2 plus or minus 2i radical 3. These are my 2 imaginary solutions, but don't forget about this poor real guy up here at the top. So when you go to write your answer on the line, you have 3 solutions. Remember, that power of the original problem tells you how many solutions you're looking for. It was raised to the 3rd power. I'm looking for 3 answers. And these are my 2 imaginary and 1 real solution. So a total of 3.